Y'all know we love mock drafts in this channel, and y'all know we love even more Bleacher Report. That's right, we have another 2022 NBA mock draft, probably the last one we'll be doing this season by Bleacher Report. But this one does have some trades in the top 10. Apparently, whatever Greg Schwartz has come up in his crazy Bleacher Report mind. His disclaimer is the 2022 NBA draft is roughly 2 weeks away and could feature a number of trades that would impact the several teams near the top. No duh. Any trade in, let's say, the top 7 would have a huge ripple effect. We could even see auction in the top 3 picks as the Orlando Magic, Oklahoma City Thunder, and Houston Rockets try to navigate around and get the big man they want while also capitalizing on assets in a potential move back. Other teams that have major positional needs, Charlotte Hornets at center, Washington Wizards at point guard, could lead to some trading in the top 10 picks as well. Here's how 3 deals near the top of the 2022 draft could impact the rest of the first round. And no surprise here, number 1 overall, Jabari Smith. I've been consistently mocking him. I think he's the best player. While Chet Holmgren is the best defender, Paulo Banchero the most advanced isolation scorer, Smith is a safe choice here. Safe? I don't know if he's safe. He's probably the most raw with the most upside. Safe would probably go Paulo Banchero, but hey, sure. With his ability to do a little bit of everything, impact in day 1, 6'10", 220. I love everything about him. Trade number 2, really? With the opportunity to take Chet Holmgren, the Houston Rockets flip with the Oklahoma City Thunder? I mean, maybe if the Thunder send like 15 first-round picks, but Chet Holmgren would be the other prize of the draft. Paulo Banchero is a noticeable drop-off, right? Right? Okay, well. Number 2 and number 34 for number 3 and 17. I don't know if I'd do that. I really don't. I'd take a future first, maybe Houston's next year's first. I would do that. Other than that, take Chet. He's clearly going to be probably he's clearly a higher upside type of guy, and that's all the Oklahoma City Thunder are looking for right now. While the Rockets could sit and wait for Paulo Banchero to follow them at 3, Holmgren would be a far more seamless fit. Yeah, of course he would be, but whatever. Trading up ensures Houston gets their guy, even if it means falling back 17 spots for its next selection. I question why the Thunder would do this. The Thunder, who have been tanking year after year, trying to get those top lottery picks, they finally ball out, get the number 2 pick this year, and then they would just seamlessly trade back for an early second round into a middle first round pick. That doesn't seem like the type of value that Sam Presti would do. This is why we make fun of you, Bleacher Report. It's trades like this. Well, okay, number 3, trade Oklahoma City Thunder. They take Paulo Banchero. They need a center, and they go, you know what we need is a power forward. Let's get another one, even though we already have Isaiah Roby, Darius Baisley, Jeremiah Robinson Earl. Instead of taking Chet Holmgren, who is a legit 7-footer, has the capacity to be a big man for us, let's take another power forward. Almost has the same hair as Isaiah Roby, who's been slotted into play center as well. Whatever. If the Thunder really like Banchero as much as Chet Holmgren, then agreeing to trade down a spot still guarantees OKC one of the elite big men. This is so, I'm sorry, this is dumb already out of the gate, but we got a lot more trades to go. Number 4, the Kings take Jaden Ivey. Big fan of this. He's my 2nd highest graded player. Really like his game. What do you want? Sports news, your inbox? Get out of my face. Maybe later. How about maybe never? Get out of here with your emails. Pairing Ivy in the backcourt with De'Aaron Fox would be a nightmare. There would be no spacing, but at this point, strengthen your strength, go all in. And, you know, Jaden Ivey isn't a terrible 3-point shooter, but I really love how this would play out. Number 5, Shadon Sharpe to the Detroit Pistons, and I call this the ultimate consolation prize because I was routinely, when the Pistons had, I think, the number 3 pick, I was routinely giving them Jaden Ivey. Now that they fall down 2 spots, you go, oh my God, they lost the lottery. They were the only team to fall down 2 spots in the entire lottery. Well, they still get next year's, number 2 projected pick this year in Shadon Sharpe. Now, he's a huge question mark. There's a little concerns about how he handled Kentucky, why he didn't play in the first place, but he and Cunningham could be one of the best backcourts in the East in a few years. Number 6 to the Pacers, Keegan Murray, and this is really where the draft starts to take off. It's that next tier of dudes. I have it as basically the top 5 are in their own separate tiers, and then after that is everybody else. Keegan Murray to the Pacers is fine, fills a hole that they need after they traded away Domantas Sabonis. He's a good 3-point shooter, solid defender, very smart player. Averaging 23.5 points a game, Murray should be able to play big minutes. A 3-point shooter, doesn't have the upside of some players taken above him. Murray is a cerebral player. It means he's slow but smart. Trade at number 7. Okay. The Charlotte Hornets trade for the Blazers, and they take Jalen Duren. I'm a big fan of this because Charlotte has been routinely getting mocked to get Mark Williams, which isn't a terrible thing. They need a center, but Jalen Duren is definitely the number 1 center of the class. So they trade with the Blazers their 2 first-round picks, 13 and 15, for number 7 and number 36. This is whatever, but I could conceivably see this because at 7, there isn't really that type of guy, this generational guy. You know, you could take the pick of the litter that you want. You take a Ben Mathurin, you take a Dyson Daniels if you really feel high on him. But other than that, I'm kind of in on this pick because I think picks 6 through about 20 all have kind of that same sort of value in this draft. No secret that the Hornets because you didn't upgrade at center, even though taking Kai Jones, yeah, Kai Jones didn't. I mean, it's James fucking Borrego. He never plays his damn rookie, so who knows how good Kai Jones is going to be. Duran has a 7'5" wingspan that allows him to protect the paint while also switching onto the perimeter. He's not a great perimeter defender. I don't know why you would say this, but he's not going to be hung out to dry like Kristaps Porzingis or Boban Marjanovic, for example. Duran would be the perfect prospect to build a defense around. Absolutely. Jalen Duran to the Hornets would be great. With teams like the Spurs, Knicks, and Thunder all potentially eyeing Duran, yeah, I'm good with that. I like this idea. This was something that I would definitely do if I was the Charlotte Hornets. Moving up to number 8, New Orleans Pelicans taking AJ Griffin. No, I don't hate this pick. I don't love it, though. I'm super worried about AJ Griffin's injury history. 82 games in the regular season for the NBA, 48 minutes a night. I know he's not going to be playing every minute of every game, but damn, his injury history is a serious red flag. I have him going probably outside of the lottery just because he sat so much time. He has those giant knee pads. I'm worried about him. Blah, blah, blah. Pelicans ranked 27 3-point shooting. Griffin nailed 44%. He would be a perfect 3D prospect if he was healthy. Next to Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, and Zion Williamson. Yeah, I'd be fine with that if he was healthy. Otherwise, I'd take a power point guard. I would take Dyson Daniels here. Number 9 goes Dyson Daniels to the G League Ignite. Falling a little bit. Spoiler alert for some of the videos that I have coming up, but Dyson Daniels is my number 6 prospect in this whole draft class. If the Spurs miss Derek White after trading him to Boston, they could take the next closest player to him. Okay. I've never seen the Dyson Daniels player comp as Derek White, but okay, Bleacher Report. I guess in theory, in a vacuum, you say, okay, a little bit of playmaking, a little bit of defense. Sure. Point guard at 6'8", Dyson Daniels is kind of like Derek White in that aspect. Dyson is a good pick and roll facilitator, can see over opponents, not very good outside shooter, but can be a high level defender. He can be. He's not very athletically gifted. That's one of my worries. That's why he's in this lower tier players, but I really like his point guard skills, a good feel for the game. He'll take some of the ball handling duties off of Dejounte Murray. Actually, hold on. This is a stupid fucking pick. Why would you take a point guard when you have Dejounte Murray? Holy crap. I completely forgot we were talking about the Spurs. Take Ousmane Dieng and don't look back. This is a terrible pick. Come on, Bleacher Report. You can do better than that. Trade at number 10. The Indiana Pacers trade with the Wizards to take Johnny Davis. Now, first of all, why would the Wizards do this? So they're getting Malcolm Brogdon, point guard, shooting guard, really a combo guard hybrid. And this is just a dump for the Pacers. They don't need Malcolm Brogdon. They essentially need to get rid of him. So I don't like this at all in theory for the Wizards. The Wizards could take somebody here at 10 that could immediately help their team. Instead, they're getting Malcolm Brogdon, who could hypothetically help his team. It's just Malcolm Brogdon isn't a very good point guard. And I know that they're trying to quote unquote win now. So Bradley Beal is entering free agency and he can be good, but the team isn't good enough to compete. Malcolm Brogdon is not going to be a guy who puts your team over the top. He fills a need, sure. But do you really want a kind of C+ player to fill a need for the Wizards? You want to start shooting for the fences. Come on. As for the Pacers, you also get a position that you don't really need. You already have Chris Duarte. You already have TJ Warren, question mark. You already have Tyrese Halliburton playing the guard. You already have Buddy Hield here. I would have liked to see them go maybe another forward, replace TJ Warren because who knows what he's going to be. Johnny Davis is only 6'5". This is a really bad pick for both teams. This is why we make fun of you, Bleacher Report. The Wizards could stay put here and take Davis themselves, which would be terrible because he's essentially the same player as Bradley Beal. This is the part of the trade that makes the most sense is right here. Washington Wizards receive point guard. Now, who the point guard is? Malcolm Brogdon. Not really much of a facilitator, not a great point guard that I would take, especially to pair up alongside Bradley Beal. I don't like the upside there. But the Wizards need a point guard, no doubt. So I guess this is why, whatever, who's this guy's name, made the trade. The Pacers is about building a young backcourt that can grow together, one that now features Davis and Tyrese Halliburton. Again, I'd take a little bit taller of a player, somebody who's a forward, somebody who's maybe 6'8"-ish. Ousmane Dieng would fit here perfectly. You essentially have a gaping hole at where TJ Warren used to play because nobody knows what he's going to be. You did take Keegan Murray, so he can hypothetically play the 4. Center position's a bit of a question mark. You have Miles Turner, but he's always hurt. You have Isaiah Jackson. Is he big good enough to be your backup center? I guess for now you're going to have to try and see. Maybe a backup point guard. Any spots, but shooting guard would have been smart. Come on now. Okay. Late lottery, Benedict Mathurin going to the New York Knicks. That's fine. The Knicks are kind of in this weird spot where they need a point guard, they need a point guard, they need a point guard. He's not available, so take somebody with height. Ousmane Dieng I would definitely take here, but they're going Ben Mathurin. I like Ben Mathurin. He's one of my favorite players of the class. Number 12 goes Ousmane Dieng to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I would probably take Mark Williams here. I like Ousmane Dieng better as a prospect. I think the fit, though, is so much better for a team that needs a center, and they just traded away Chet Holmgren. So it's fine. They have Alexei Pokusevsky already. You don't need another guy who's a very similar prospect. And so what we're going to see with the Portland Trailblazers decide to do with picks 13 and picks 15, they take Jeremy Sochan here. I'm okay with that. I'm not really high on Sochan as a prospect myself. I have him more falling into the later of the first round, but he could definitely be a very good defender, very good high ceiling prospect, and good length for a team that has too many undersized guards. Number 14 to the Cavs, Malachi Branham. But with that, basically they need somebody who can shoot the three and isn't 6'1" like Colin Sexton. I take Ochai Agbaji here, but that's fine. And number 15 for the Trailblazers is Ochai Agbaji, who I just mentioned, one of my favorite players in the class. People don't like him because he's a senior, but he's basically the perfect 3-and-D prospect coming out of the draft. He's like Chris Duarte was last season. He's an instant spot starter, 3-and-D. You can never have enough of those guys in the NBA. All right, Eason to the Hawks. They have so much talent on the team. They need to put somebody over the top. So if you're saying this team is good enough to win now, Tari Eason's fine. Hypothetically, you might want to go after a higher potential, higher upside guy, but Tari Eason is a very good player in his own right. Number 17, Mark Williams to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they do get that value that I was talking about earlier. I think Mark Williams should go late lottery. He's basically 1-2 at the center position for me, just behind Jalen Duren. So having him fall to 17 is a little bit of a head scratcher, but I like that he goes to the Thunder here, who need a center. Finally, after trading away Chet Holmgren like an idiot in this mock draft, they get their center in Mark Williams. Number 18, EJ Liddell. I don't get this. I saw Six Rings of Steel do the same pick, and he said, oh, EJ Liddell is going to be their backup big man. What? So I don't understand this at all. I guess because you're counting out Patrick Williams, you're going to say, you know what we don't need is 3-and-D prospects. You know what we do need is an undersized PJ Tucker kind of 6'7" power forward who doesn't shoot the three all that well. Honestly, I'm a huge fan of EJ Liddell, but we're rating him way too highly if you're going to be taking him in the top 20 while there's still some very good wing prospects available. Number 19, Ty Washington. This would be the type of prospect that the Bulls should take. Really nice pickup here for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Ty has fallen quite a bit. He was injured for a large portion of the season in the middle, and he just never returned to that early season form where he started to look like a top 10 pick. So I think anybody who picks up Ty Washington late in the first round is going to get good value out of him. Number 20 to the Spurs, Nikola Jovic. I like Nikola Jovic either going to the Spurs or going to the Nuggets. He's this really unique talent that's going to need some good coaching and good development to get the full extent of what he's able to offer to the team, because he's not just a traditional shoot the three-pointer, play a little defense. He can handle the ball and facilitate a little bit. He is a good-ish on-ball defender, but not a great athlete. He's a smart player. Going to the Spurs would be a perfect pick, especially if we put him alongside Ousmane Dieng. Could you imagine having two 6'10" guys who are going to be very smart, very unique talents? And now pick 21, Jake LaRavia. And I got to be honest, I did not watch a single Wake Forest game. So I guess I'm a little bit behind on my scouting reports, but hopefully we'll pick him up in some of the later videos. Power forward, I guess that works. You need 3-and-D. You need size on this team. Jake LaRavia could fill that out for the Denver Nuggets. Number 22 to the Memphis Grizzlies goes MarJon Beauchamp. I would have liked the Nuggets to take him way more than Jake LaRavia, but that is fine. MarJon Beauchamp at times looked like one of the best players in the class and looked like the best player on the G League Ignite. So I definitely have him sort of as a fringe top 20 talent. He's going to be 3, he's going to be D, he's going to give you effort, he's going to give you toughness. MarJon Beauchamp going to be one of the sleepers of the class, and he's definitely going to be able to contribute to a winning culture. And the Memphis Grizzlies finding him at 22, perfect pickup. Number 23, Walker Kessler to the 76ers. I don't know about that. I know they desperately need center depth, as mentioned here, although I like what Paul Reed did for them at times. DeAndre Jordan needs to get the hell out of there. I think they need more 3-and-D prospects than they do Walker Kessler. They have to play Furkan Korkmaz for significant minutes. So I take some of the other guys that have a little more scoring potential than just a big, tall guy who's mediocre on both sides of the court. Milwaukee Bucks taking Kennedy Chandler. Now, the Bucks do need a backup point guard. Kennedy Chandler is one of the best backup point guards in the class. He's also super undersized, and I don't like the idea of him going in the first round. That said, if he can come in, give you like 10 minutes a night, backup point guard minutes, totally like this pickup. Number 25, Christian Koloko to the Spurs. I like that. Christian Koloko is one of my favorite center prospects who's kind of a sleeper as well. I see a lot of people having him fall to the second round. I think he's one of the better rim runners in this class, and he's great value here at 25. Number 26, Jalen Williams going to the Dallas Mavericks. Just 3-and-D, 7'2" wingspan out of Santa Clara. Really like the pickup for the Mavericks, and they're a team that kind of a question mark. You don't really know what they need. You don't really know what they don't need. They could use an elite big man, sure. Maybe you want to go grab one of the foreign guys that you haven't seen too much tape on, or you could get just another 3-and-D guy. Either way, fine pickup for the Dallas Mavericks. 27 to the Heat, Jaden Hardy. I don't know why people continue to mock this. I don't like it. They have Tyler Hero already. They have Duncan Robinson. They have Max Strus. I don't want just another scorer. I want somebody who can fill up the 4 spot, who can be tall, because Bam Adebayo is only 6'8". I want some size. I want some length on the Heat, as well as shooting. And just some undersized guy who's supposed to be a scoring specialist, but can't really shoot the ball. Doesn't seem like a good pickup for the Miami Heat, okay? Number 28, Blake Wesley. Love this pick. I love Blake Wesley, the prospect. He's not going to be a top 10 guy by any means, but he certainly has some good upside as well. I'd like him to go to the Miami Heat more than Jaden Hardy would, for example. I really like what he did in some big games against Kentucky, and I think he's super young, so he's going to have a lot of time to develop for whatever team he goes to. Number 29, Andrew Nembhard to the Grizzlies. This is a great pickup if Tyus Jones leaves in free agency. He wants to be a starting point guard, as rumored, and initially I was pretty down on Andrew Nembhard. But after watching some of the tape and after grading some of the other guys like JD Davidson and Kennedy Chandler, who are really short, Andrew Nembhard, 6'5", is the perfect backup point guard in today's NBA. Going to the Grizzlies at 29 with Tyus Jones leaving, perfect match here. And number 30, Wendell Moore Jr. to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I'm a little lower on Wendell Moore than some of the other guys. I'd like a Bryce McGowan's here, just a lot more upside. But Wendell Moore is a fine pickup for number 30. So that is Bleacher Report. A lot of dumb stuff happening at the top, and then they just kind of filled out the rest of the rosters as the rest of the draft went on. So let me know what your thoughts are, what you agree with, what you disagree with, because I certainly disagree with Greg Schwartz in many aspects. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.